Welcome back everyone to my fitness training videos. Today is June 1st and I'm going to perform the rest of my exercises up this neighbor's trailer. And considering this is the first Tuesday, I'm just going to take a walk around the building and talk to you about some things. So this exercise is really just walking around the building. Now, let me get the camera straightened up. You see, we're walking down the porch. This is the neighbor's trailer. Now, this is the eastern side of the building, and I would like to recall that the sun rises over here. It faces toward that way. And so the sun at morning time is facing this eastern side of the building. And then the sun moves toward the south at noontime. Now you think the sun is just straight up in the air. However, it is not perfectly straight above our heads. It is more to the south, and this is why. Because we live above the Tropic of Cancer. The sun's rays are always directly hitting anywhere between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, mostly at the equator. Since we live above that, more to the north, the sun's rays are more to the south of us. Now we live in the southern hemisphere, below the Tropic of Capricorn, then the sun will always be toward the north, alright? However, most of the population lives in the northern hemisphere. Now, during the summer solstice, the sun will rise higher because it's more closer to us in the northern hemisphere. So actually, if it's summer in our area, it's winter in the southern hemisphere. So either way, whether it's summer, it's always more straight up above our heads. And if it's winter time, the sun is more lower. You see, in the summer solstice it goes more like this, but in the winter solstice it goes more like that. Alright? Also, the sun rises earlier and sets later, so it has more time to show itself up in the sky. Therefore, during the summer solstice, when the sun sets, it's more to the north. For example, if it was 5 o'clock p.m., then the sun would set at winter time, and it's more to the south. However, if it's 5 o'clock p.m. in the summer, still at the same angle, but it's more higher. So when it's 7 or 8 o'clock p.m., then the sun is still showing, but it's more to the north now. Because during midnight, the sun is actually toward the north, but it's hidden. Alright, it's like below us, it's below the horizon. So that's some science right there. Now, of course, at noontime, the sun's rays are hitting this side of the wall, the southern side of the building, and then the sun moves more to the west. Well, to the west, at evening time, the sun's rays are hitting the western side of the building. Alright? And it goes on in this movement. You see, the sun is actually going in a clockwise direction around the building. Alright, so I'm going clockwise around the building to show you the movement of the sun here. Even though the Earth moves in a counterclockwise direction, that means that the sun appears to move in a clockwise direction. You see? Right over here, the sun begins to set. And then at midnight, the sun's rays are not hitting the northern side of the building at all. None. This side of the building, the north side, does not get any sunlight. even though at midnight the sun is at that angle, it's actually below the horizon. Alright, and then when the sun begins to rise, it begins to shine its rays right here, like it is right now, at the eastern side of the building. Alright, so, as with shadows, that's just the opposite, because at morning time, when the sun is toward the east, the shadows are leaning toward the west. Alright, so let me go back up for a moment. You see, this is the west side of the building, and you can see a shadow right here toward the west. When the sun is toward the east, its rays are going toward the west. And so when there's a wall block in the way, when it goes west, it goes over like this. But the building is blocking the way over here. Now, when the sun is toward the east at morning time, its rays are going west, and therefore it is hitting the eastern side of the building, so there's no shadow right here. However, if it was evening, then there would be a shadow right here, a long one. But let me mention this, early morning and late evening have the longest shadows, and the shadows do not get any longer than that, because the area around the shadow is also darkened, and this happens when the sun's body is hidden from the horizon, making the whole grass not have sunlight. Alright, and of course during noontime, as it almost is right now, there is still some shadows. Noontime has the least shadows, it has the shortest shadows, because the sun's rays are actually hitting up top of the building. So it goes like this. It is early morning and the shadows are leaning this way. Well, then it gets noontime and the shadows get shorter. And then afternoon, the shadows start going this way toward the east, and then they get longer and then they disappear. However, let me tell you this. You see, this is the north side of the building, so why is there a shadow right here instead of the other side? Well, like I said, during noontime, the sun is toward the south, so its rays are coming toward the north, therefore the shadow is going toward the north. Alright? And you're always going to see a shadow on the north. However, over here you can see that there's no shadow, because the sun is toward the south, its rays are coming toward the north, and therefore it's directly hitting this south side of the building, and therefore there's no shadow. And it will always be this way, as long as we're in the northern hemisphere. So, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. It was not much of a fitness training video, but it did have a little science in it about, well, the sun's rays are shining in which direction, like in the clock. Remember, the clock goes clockwise, while the Earth goes in the counterclockwise direction. Well, that's the end for today's video, and come back next time as I do more exercises around this area in the northern field. In the meantime, see you later.